Well, you are paying £4 billion a year for an immigration system that is not working. The statistics are absolutely astonishing. Something like 175,000 people are waiting to go through the asylum system, and the fact that Rishi Sunak is under pressure. He says it's unsustainable. He says it's far too many people. He says it's far too much money. And the Prime Minister has been told to get a grip on immigration as claims hit a 20-year high. Let's talk to Ivon Sampson, who's an immigration lawyer. Ivon, you're very welcome to TalkTV. Good morning.
Good morning, Peter.
Why are the numbers so high? How can the government get a grip on it, do you think?
Well, it's simply slow processing. I mean, the government's saying is because of the number of people coming across a channel, but the House of Commons Select Committee looked at this and they rejected that argument. And what the government is saying...
You're right, isn't it? I mean, you're right. This is a Home Office problem. It's not just about people arriving, it's a Home Office problem. Some of the statistics are shocking. They say they want to get through sort of 11,000 people a month, and they're doing about 1,000 people.
Now, the interesting thing is the last 5 years, we've got more caseworkers than we've ever had, an increase of about 62%. We've got over 1,000 Home Office asylum caseworkers. The Home Office also set up a special unit to assess nationality. So the resources are being put in. It's astonishing. I mean, no one's actually explaining why the Home Office is taking so long. My view is simply they can't identify, I think, where people are from, and that's a problem. So if you've got somebody who's claiming to be Syrian, coming from, say, living in the borders with Syria, it's very difficult to try and identify where they're from. And that makes it very challenging for governments to assess properly whether someone's a genuine asylum seeker.
And there is an incentive, absolutely, for people who say they're asylum seekers to fit a narrative. I'm sure there are many genuine asylum seekers. There is a high likelihood of being accepted as an asylum seeker if you are making that application. But at the same time, you've got to ask, how do these things get checked, especially when the system is under so much pressure? So there will be people, I'm sure there are many genuine asylum seekers, and it's good that we're a compassionate country that takes them in, but there will be people who play the system and will slip through the net.
Indeed, and the Refugee Convention is drafted very loosely. The threshold, the evidential burden threshold, is very low because people are fleeing persecution, may not have identity documents, may not have supporting documents to prove what they're saying, other than simply their testimony. And quite often, that's all an asylum seeker has, a story,
yes.
Nothing more.
It's interesting, I mean, overall, a total of 175,457 people were waiting for an initial decision on an asylum application at the end of June 2023. That's up 44% on the same period last year. This is not going well for Rishi Sunak. One of his 5 pledges is to stop the boats. And it's not just about stopping the boats, it's about reforming an entire system. We're in a situation where we have Suella Braverman, probably one of the most defiant, strongest talking anyway, one of the most right-wing, conservative Home Secretary, saying that she wants things to change. She took over sort of from Grant Shapps, but really from Priti Patel, and yet neither woman has really got a grip of the system and done what they wanted to do.
No, and if you look at compare other countries, how they're dealing with it, we get half the number of asylum applications that France gets. We get 1/3.
But we accept more, don't we, Ivon?
Well, no, that's simply not true.
Well, percentage-wise, you're more likely to have an asylum claim accepted in the UK than you are in France.
Well, look, it doesn't... What we're talking about is processing asylum applications. That's the subject we're speaking about. And we get half the number that France gets and 1/3 of what Germany gets. And yet we have 14.9% asylum applications per 10,000 people in the backlog. France gets around 7, and Germany gets about 7, and France gets about 13. So we're way behind our neighbours. We just simply the Home Office is incompetent. And that's the simple fact, I'm afraid. They're not. And if you look at over the last 10 years, asylum applications have got a backlog taking more than 6 months, have gone up 900%.
Do you think there's any politician who can get a grip on this? Do you think Labour, Conservative, any party you can think of that can really properly get a grip on this, that can change this? Because at the end of the day, politicians can be powerful, but they are nonetheless, you know, a small number of people when pitted against a system that involves many thousands of people that just isn't working.
Look, it's a global problem. If they've got to listen to people, the UNCHR and the UN Refugee Agency, who said in 2021, they advised the UK government that you need to put resources at the initial screening stage. The screening stage is so weak that it's just a template that they go through. It's at that screening stage it should weed out those who are not genuine. But look, Peter, the problem is if we reject, which we are, about 50% of those seeking asylum, what do we do with people once you reject them? We can't return them anywhere.
Well, that's a whole other debate we'll get into another time. Ivon, thank you very, very much indeed, Ivon Sampson, who's an immigration lawyer. Chris is in Surrey and has given me a call on 0344 499 1000. Chris, what would you like to say?